Another classic for afternoon tea is jam tart. And to be honest, I don't really get it, the whole thing about jam tart, mostly if it's made with some cheap jam inside. So I'm going to do my kind of own version, something much lighter than the previous cake we made. Essentially, fresh raspberry are going to be baked in the tart base with fresh basil. And the combination is just amazing. So to start with, we're going to start to make a layer of sponge. And instead to make the usual big gâteau sponge, we're actually going to make Swiss rolls. I prefer to do that. It gives you, it's faster, and it actually keeps much softer as well. So just a classic recipe, but we're going to cook it very thinly like a Swiss roll.
To make your sponge, take castor sugar and butter and whisk together until creamy. Add the eggs one at a time and continue whisking. Add a splash of water and some flour and combine. When the mixture is pale, spread it onto a baking tray, then it's into the oven.
So when your sponge is cooked and cold, you just cut it off. I'm using a metal ring to cut it from the sheet. If you haven't got a metal ring, just use a plate. At the moment, it's the right size. And you can see it's very thin, but still very, very soft because it's just been zapped in the oven. So it's really the best way to make it work. And another thing you're going to need for this recipe is a pastry shell, basic shortcrust pastry, so you can cook that in advance with the baked blind, or you can buy it in as well if you wanted to. So the first step is we got here some raspberry preserve, good quality one, and with a palette knife I'm just going to give a good coat on layers on our sponge. So it's got a good combination because you're going to get the crunchiness of the pastry and a sponge on the inside, so it's kind of almost like a cake stroke tart. And it's really important you use good quality jam and not something with bright red and just full of sugar and no fruit. So just put a good layer like this, and we're just gonna flip it over inside the tart like that. Just press it down. And the next step is to make a basil syrup.
Add some castor sugar to a pan of hot water and stir till dissolved. Add some fresh basil and leave to infuse.
And I'm going to soak the sponge with the syrup using a brush. Give it a good old soak. You can do the same version with of the tart, but using strawberries. And you can even grind some peppercorn, because it's got a good, it does work very well with strawberries. And now we're just going to completely cover the top with fresh raspberries. Right, I'm just adding the final few last one. I'm going to keep some extra one for the decoration as well. And that's ready to go in a hot oven because we want the raspberries to go all squidgy and juicy.
Bake the tart for 15 minutes at 200 degrees.
Here we are. Our tart is just out of the oven, lovely and hot. You can see the raspberries are almost ready to burst on them, you know, all the juice coming out. So that's absolutely perfect. We're just going to do a few decoration on it before serving it. So I got some red currant here. Going to sit on the top. Give it nice acidities. And some other fresh raspberries. Bit of icing sugar. Here we are, a perfect alternative for an afternoon tea. The only thing you need now is a nice glass of Prosecco. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my own channel if you love baking. Every Monday, it's a Baking Mad Monday.